Welcome on board to the Alien Spaceship talk show with Emmy Hikins and Trevor, a podcast where no topic is off limits. Fasten your seatbelt, stick the kettle on, you're in for a bumpy ride. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
But you just, perhaps you were hit a lot, if you misbehaved and stuff like that. Would you still want to honour them
Yes, I would.
for the rest of their lives and after they died?
Yes, I would. I would. Yeah, I would just not do what is. I mean, all right. So I've used an extreme example to say because that's extreme actually. So let's use a less
Yeah.
extreme instance. So if they've asked me to do something that is even morally wrong, so we're not talking about breaking a law, right? We're not talking about committing an atrocity. I'm saying something that is morally wrong, which morals is down to individuals, isn't it? So some people might think, well, this isn't morally wrong for me, and some of the person might say, well, this is morally wrong for me. So if somebody's saying something that is morally wrong, I still wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. But that doesn't mean that they've lost all respect in my eyes.
No.
It just means on that issue, I'm taking a stand for myself. I'm saying no to that, which is morally wrong, and I would give them my reasons for doing that, and hopefully, they might respect it. If they don't, then I still wouldn't do it. But if there are other matters that I need to show a sort of honor to them, I would do it. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean that's in a situation you've painted there. If they've asked you to do something which is against your moral compass, if you like. But if just in the ordinary events of life, you look back on your childhood, as a lot of people do, and they say, yeah, my parents were very hard on me, more than it was just the thing at the time, because different generations have different standards, I guess. But if people look back and think, well, they didn't validate me, they didn't really love me, they were very self-centered, didn't bring me up. And hopefully most people don't feel like that. But if it was more like that, more almost normality for some people who've grown up in difficult environments, would that make a difference? Would you still honour them in your thoughts about them and things you might say about them after they've died? If they were not good parents, really, this is the essence of this, isn't it?
Yeah. If they're not good parents, which is, I would still honor them because at the end of the day, we're all humans and we all make mistakes. We're not infallible, are we? We're bound to, trip up or fall short in some form. I wouldn't write them off. I would still respect them. I would still show them love. And I would still say they're my parents. I wouldn't disown them. Because at the end of the day, I mean, what do? You can't shape somebody else's life. You can't change somebody else's life unless they want to change. You just have to accept them and just hope for the best. And if they still don't change, I mean, obviously, say for instance, if they, I wouldn't be that proud of them. It's like if you had a father who's been there and done everything for you and looked after you and tried to live a good life, you'd be proud of them. You would say, "Oh, that's my dad," and people would say, "Oh, yeah, is that your dad?" So I wouldn't be proud of them in that sense, and they probably would understand why. But I wouldn't put them down. I wouldn't talk down to them or disrespect them in any form. I would still try to view them as humans, and who's made wrong choices in life. So that's how I would view
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. there's one more on these, and then we'll move on to our next bit. But again, a hypothetical, theoretical thing. If you had the chance to go back in time, to the time of just say mid-late 30s, 1930s, to the time in Germany where Hitler was gaining power, but it's a one-way journey. If you could go back in time, you can't come back again. Would you go, if you could do it, would you go back to that time and kill him? Again, it touches on the commandments, but would you kill him, and in so doing save 6 million Jews and possibly 4 to 5 million gypsies, homosexuals, and others physically, mentally challenged people who Hitler said had to go? Would you kill him, even though you couldn't get back here and you know what the penalty?
We're going to take a short break now. We're back shortly. You've been listening to the Alien Spaceship Talk Show with Trevor and Emmy Hikins. The Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast is looking for sponsors. If you're a company out there looking to spread the word about the products and services you provide, please get in touch with Deepstuff Radio Podcast on info@deepstuffrecords.com, or to use the contact form on our website to contact us, please visit radio.deepstuffrecords.com. Also, if you're looking to get involved on the Alien Spaceship Talk Show podcast, reach out via our Deepstuff Radio Facebook page. Thank you.